Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Anna and I'm really excited about today's video. So, in my life, probably in the past about 2 years, I have read over 100 self-development, professional development books. Yeah, I really like them. What can I say? And I am here to take that list of over 100 books, I wish I had an exact number, but I don't, and tell you that these are the 5 that you need to read, or my top 5 that I recommend every single person reads. So I have them written down and we will get started. I actually only have one in hard copy though, but don't take that personally. I just don't purchase a lot of books. So the first one, which I don't know if I talked about in a previous video or not, but it's The School of Greatness by Lewis Howes. And I know he has a podcast, I believe, of the same name. I have not listened to that podcast, full disclosure. So I read this book in an ebook. And essentially he was this elite athlete, all-American athlete, who then became injured and kind of went to a downfall. And in this book, the main questions he has you kind of think about and answer. And what I loved about this is that it came with a workbook, so you can kind of work along with him, and you can just print out like these 5 sheets and kind of go with him and go with the book. And I think it really helped formalize the plan and understand as you're going along, because you're not just like listening and going to absorb it and process it later. You can do it as you go on. Is who are you? Who are you? What do you stand for? What's your dream? And what legacy do you want to leave? And how can we become great together? So he definitely has a very team aspect within his book. So from that, this book has a lot of personal stories, and this is something that you'll see about throughout all of these books, is that they are always going to be personal stories in it, and definitely kind of like use cases or case studies within it. Those I do not find that beneficial most of the time. So I will say, if there is case studies, I don't 100% relate to them. So I'm definitely never going to recommend a book that has a bunch of case studies of like, this person, this is what they worked, or whatever, because that doesn't relate to me. I like action, and I like listed steps, game plan. This is what you need to do. So I would say that these personal stories aren't that great. They didn't really relate to me. I couldn't really connect to a lot of them. But he makes you walk through 8 steps after you answer those 5 questions of creating a vision, turning adversity into an advantage. You need to cultivate a champion's mindset, learn how to hustle, which is like my least favorite word in the entire world, is like hustle more, but whatever. How to master your body, how to create positive habits, which we'll get to in another book. Creating a winning team, and living a life of service, which is probably the biggest thing about this book compared to other books, is that I think we all need to have this service aspect to our lives. So this book I think is great. I think I read it in a day, and then I did the worksheets the day after, because I like to process the information, and then I kind of went through and saw what I highlighted within the book. So I highly recommend this book. And I think it's great. So if you try this out and try this method out, leave a comment below or reach me on Instagram and tell me how it goes. Okay, so the next book, and I put this as second, so hopefully only the serious people are watching this now. And that book is The 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. This is one of my all-time favorite books in the entire world. My boyfriend actually bought me this hard copy. If I told him that, and I was like, I want a hard copy of this book so I can highlight it the F up. Actually, I underlined it. And because I just think that this is the most beneficial book, whether you actually wake up at 5 a.m. or not. So at the time I was waking up at 5 a.m. Now it's more around 5:36, whatever. I do think 5 a.m. is the best time. But anyway, so this book is written kind of as a parable or a fable of these, I think it's two or three people two people who meet this guy and they think he's homeless. It turns out he's a millionaire and he's like, meet me at my plane. And the plane says like 5 a.m. club on the side, and he takes him to his island and teaches him like their rules. So it isn't really written as most personal development, self-development books are written. So I did think that was a little bit interesting and different. I definitely wouldn't say I loved that method and I would only read that way, but I do think it was good. And this just has so much information in it. So the 4 things you have to do at 5 a.m. and he gives you like basically each of them are 20 minutes is move, journal, or meditate, and review your goals. So I guess 3. I can't do math in my head. And review your goals and grow. So listen to a podcast, read a book. And I do think that's totally achievable. It's not like you have to do a whole hour workout in the morning. Just like walk on the treadmill, stretch your body, get your blood flowing, journal of like what you want to do today. How do you feel when you wake up? Or meditate. And again, it doesn't have to be 20 minutes. It could be 10 minutes, 5 minutes, but center yourself and then review your goals and be like, this is going to be my mindset for the day. And I think that is really helpful. And I don't think it's like, no, outrageous. I watched a video, I think it was last night, and I'll try to link it down below. I forgot who the YouTuber is, but he's a popular kind of like self-development YouTuber. And he's like, these people who do morning routines, they're like hours long, and like most people can't do that. As like someone who, you know, works a 9 to 5 or 7:30 to 4 job, that I can't do a like 3-hour morning routine where I do all this stuff and meditate for an hour and etc. Like I have responsibilities, like I don't have children, but what if I had children? And I think that this is totally achievable to do, especially if you have, I'm not gonna even say especially if you have kids, because I don't even know what that's like and I'm not going to pretend I do, but thinking maybe you could wake up early before them. I think my mom did something similar to this when we were children. But anyway, it also covers so many additional concepts in this book that I think are very helpful and productive. So you go over like the 90-91 rule, the 20-20 rule, the 60-10 method, the daily 5. There's like over 10 of them in here. So I do think this is highly beneficial, and I recommend every single person reads this book. My #1 book. Maybe I'll read it again right now. Turning the page to our next 3. So book number 3 is The Happiness of Pursuit by Chris Guillebeau. I'm butchering that last name, and I really should learn how to pronounce last names. So this book isn't like a typical self-help personal development book. I actually picked this up at a Half Price Books thinking like, oh, whatever, I'll just pick it up, and I read it and I loved it. And I like literally called my mom right after. I was like, I'm giving you this book, you need to read it. So that's why I don't have it in person anymore. And this book like makes me want to like start and plan my next journey, like behind the scenes. So I just got these new like base layer pants today. Yeah, this is a great outfit going on. And I literally called my mom when I got them in the mail, and I like, Mom, I just got these new base layer pants. I'm ready for our next mountain. Let's go. Like, what is it? I'll be there. I had the money saved already. Let's go, Mom. So basically it's about a story about a man who his goal is to visit every country on the planet by the age of 35, and his story and trials and tribulations of going through that. So this book really makes you want to be a goal seeker and plan goals and plan like basically having a what's next mindset. So it isn't like how to work better, how to hustle harder, how to be a girl boss or whatever. It's like, okay, I want to challenge myself. How am I going to challenge myself next? What's next? I'm not going to dwell on the past. What's freaking next? And I love that. And it has some science and some philosophy behind it of when you have these big long-term goals, like visiting every country on the planet, it forces you to have order and structure in your life to reach those goals. So I loved this book. I highly recommend it for anyone who's feeling a little lost or like they don't have a purpose or don't have a passion in life. No matter what it is, like you'll find something while reading this book of like, oh, this is what I want to do. So like I said, this was like calling my mom up, like, where's our next mountain? Let's go freaking climb it. Like, I don't need to go back to training. Like, I'll just do it. So yeah, loved the happiness of pursuit. The fourth book is You Are a Badass Every Day by Jen Sincero. So I know I mentioned this book in my July wrap up, but I'm gonna probably not go into too much more depth. So as I said, I've read her previous books, so like You Are a Badass, You're a Badass at Making Money. So this is a You Are a Badass Every Day. And I think I gave You Are a Badass 3 or 4 stars. I think it's a really good self-help book, or a decent self-help book. But this one, basically, it's a companion book. So it's like where you read a page every day, similar to like a prayer devotional or like the Daily Stoic type books. And it has over 100 exercises, reflection, prompts, and cues for you. And so you basically can read this every day, and it kind of tries to get you in a mindset, which could go into the 5 a.m. club as your meditation of the day, I think. In my mind, it does. And I wrote down, I think this is the perfect morning motivation. I wish I had it on me. I don't know where my iPad is right now, so I could read you one of the prompts, but I do think it gets you thinking in the right way in the morning and thinking how you can make yourself better. And then the last book number 5, is The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. So I know there's some good, some bad. I've heard about this book, but I loved it. So Charles is an investigative reporter for the New York Times. So this has a lot of research in it. I wouldn't say it's a highly scientific book or highly scientific paper, but I would say it's more on the educated side than like the 5 a.m. club, definitely more than You Are a Badass or the happiness of pursuit. So if you want research and science to back up knowledge that you're reading, this is definitely a book for you. And basically it says if you do something enough or frequently, it becomes a habit. Good or bad, it's a habit in your life. And basically you cannot get rid of a bad habit. You can only substitute it with something better. So this has a lot of case studies in it. Again, those don't 100% relate to me, but I do think that they are helpful in gauging the correct concept. And this book is great if you want to create those good functioning habits like they recommend in the School of Greatness. So I would definitely recommend this book as a companion piece to the School of Greatness, where the 5 a.m. club could have the companion piece of You Are a Badass Every Day. Or you can just read them all together and be a great, happy person. That's not a guarantee. I do not want to get in that bubble. But anyway, these are the 5 self-help personal development books. I just 100% could not recommend it enough. Just 100% could not recommend enough. So if you try any of them out, leave a comment below or reach out to me on Instagram, and I will list my Goodreads personal development playlist, or not playlist, idea list or whatever down below as well, so you can see some or most of the personal development books I've read and how I have rated them. And hopefully you find this information helpful. If you want other videos like this, please let me know. I have some ideas, but I want to make content that you guys enjoy and would like. So with that, I hope you guys all have a great motivational day, and